Hello, Jeethu Joseph, and welcome to Film Companion South.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Congratulations! Everybody is talking about your movie, just like 6, 7 years ago, everybody was talking about the first part of this movie. Now, tell me seriously, and I want this confession on Film Companion. You were before you became a director, you were a criminal, right? I mean, I cannot think of how else you can think up all these things, right?
No, sir. Actually, before becoming a filmmaker, I was just a rubber planter. I'm coming from an agricultural family. And my father was a politician. He was an MLA. And I'm coming from a village uh, background. And um, and I'm the only one person. I have four brothers and three brothers and one sister. I'm the only person working in the industry.
Yeah, but how do you
So
think
I
this
have no
stuff up?
connection.
How does this?
I don't know, sir. Maybe I used to read a lot of Agatha Christie novels, James Hadley Chase books, Sherlock Holmes. So even from my childhood, my passion towards these kind of mystery movies, crime movies was there. Maybe that's the reason. I don't know.
At what point did you think Drishyam can have a sequel?
Immediately after Drishyam, first Drishyam, everyone asked for the possibilities of a sequel. Then I said, no, it's finished. We can't. There's no chance for a sequel because I was not seriously thinking about it. And after that, 1 or 2 years, people started creating stories of their own for a sequel. I think someone approached Viacom with a sequel story, and in around 2015, Anthony Perumbau, the producer, asked me, "Why don't you think, Jeethu? You just give a try. If it is not working, just leave it. Why don't you try?" Then, okay. Then I just started thinking about the possibilities, and it took almost 5 years to reach this present script.
Okay, let me ask you about the first Drishyam, right? When you were writing that, did you decide that this is a story where this body is going to be buried under the police station and then work backwards? Or you started writing a story and then ended up with that? Because that became the most memorable part of the film.
Actually, sir, in my first draft of Drishyam one, the climax was not like this. It's not in the police station. The climax was actually the two families talking each other, and my actually they were standing above the over the grave of Varun. Okay, it was just a first thought as a
Right.
first. Then I didn't feel it's right. It's very forced, and so I was thinking. I kept that script aside and were thinking about the possibilities. Then I suddenly thought, what if it is under a police station? What will be? It will be interesting. So at that time, I have made one this thing documentary for Janamaitri Police, the community policing here in Kerala. So I learned few things that if the station is very old, they will change. They will build a new station, and they were changing all the stations into Janamaitri. I mean, the community policing system. So then I thought the idea of bringing the station as a character into this thing, and I presented this thing, and the climax was set. Then there was a confusion that the people will definitely no. I always take that the audience are much intelligent than me, so I thought we need to deceive the audience. So I thought about starting from the police station, keeping the protagonist as a some accused or some. It's like a kind of mystery. He had done something. So after that, I made some corrections in the first in the family portions. In scenes, Mohanlal Georgekutty was saying that, "Don't worry, you will not go. I will not send you to the jail." That means indirectly he's saying that the in worst case scenario, I will take the blame and I will go. So automatically the audience thought that, oh, that's why he was sitting there. He is already caught. So I kept it like this, and that's how I reached to the police station thing.
What about the sequel? When you did you first see this as family drama where you kind of have this family coping with the things that happened so many years ago?
Yeah, when I was started thinking about the sequel, I thought, so what will be the story? Where should I concentrate? Then, of course, it's been 6 years or 5 or 6 years or 3 or 4 years because I started in 2015. So I thought about, okay, anyway, it should be the continuation of the story. It should not be a different story with the same characters. So anyway, a crime is committed by the family, or they are involved, the family involved in a crime. They are not professional. There will be trauma. So I thought, okay, let's concentrate on the trauma. Then I thought about the different aspects. Of course, at the time of, towards the end of this thing, first Drishyam first, the entire society, the people around him were all believed that Georgekutty and their family is innocent, and that cop Sagadevan is trying to frame them. And now it's a different story because Georgekutty is financially well off. He started making money. He started a theater. So there is a thing called neighborhood envy, right? So people started talking about no smoke without fire. Okay, they started believing that this family has something to do with the disappearance of that. Okay, so they started creating stories. So how it's going to affect that family, especially the elder girl, the girl who committed the crime. She is in her 20s, early 20s. It's a time of her marriage. So this problem can be there. Then, of course, there will be movement from the police side. And there is another aspect. Even when you consider that family, there are four members. So these four, actually the four members have different type of trauma. Actually, Georgekutty is scared, but he is not showing outside. Rani is in total darkness. She doesn't know anything. Whenever there is a police movement, police started digging somewhere, she is getting nervous. But Georgekutty is very cool because he knows that nothing is going to happen. And regarding that elder girl, she has some, she should have some, that mental, and she started seeing dreams, and she has that fits kind of thing. So she has some health problem. And the elder girl is the least bothered because it's not going to affect her. So
the younger
I
girl.
kept all, sorry, younger girl. So I kept all these things in my mind and started working on it. But the real challenge was I have to keep the identity of the character, to maintain the identity of the character. There should be a continuation. Of course, there is a change. There's a change. There's a 5 years difference. The characters are physically and mentally grown, but still, their character have a basic, identity, right? Especially the Georgekutty. What is Georgekutty? Georgekutty is an illiterate guy. He studied only till 4th grade, but he's an extraordinary genius or extraordinary man. He's a fighter. He started as an orphan. He's an orphan, but he came to this level. So when this problem occurred in his life, he fought back with whatever information, whatever knowledge he has. So the problem is I have to maintain that same thing in the second half. He has to do something. He has to show some extraordinary this thing. Then I started thinking about the possibilities. I talked to different doctors. I mean, I have a forensic surgeon who is a friend of mine. I started talking to him. I have some police relation friends with me. Then I started discussing with them. Then I created this particular sequence. Then I worked and made this particular sequence of taking and changing this thing. Okay. After finishing the script, I took it to forensic doctor, and I asked him, "See, this is my idea. So if you are watching this film, do you think this is stupid? This is impossible?" He helped me in making some corrections and said, it can happen.
Right.
If it is a stranger, one cannot come in a fine morning and can do this. But suppose we are saying that this guy is preparing this for 2-3 years.
Yeah.
He can easily do this because in the forensic office there is no camera, no CCTV camera, and they are supposed to seal this thing. They are taking this in cardboard or sacks,
Right.
okay, and they are supposed to seal this, but they usually don't, because this kind of incident never happened in Kerala. So there is a chance. And he told me that at that time he was working in some medical college. He told me that we have a security here, and I heard that he is taking his friends to his office and drinking there. So everything fits perfect. Then I got that idea. Then I finally worked on the final screenplay. But before starting the script, I told my wife and daughters, and I'm going to work on this thing. I'm started writing this thing. Then they all three of them said, "Please don't do it. Don't spoil your name." But I told them, let me write one first draft. And if it is working, we'll go ahead with it. Otherwise, we'll just drop it. After finishing the script, I gave it to them, but I wanted them to read in the same time. I don't want them to communicate each other. So I sent all of them to 3 different rooms. They read the script. They came out and they said, my elder daughter, she wants to be a filmmaker. And she said, "Daddy, this is a good cinema." And I told them, I'm not trying to make a film which is equal to box office
Right.
When it comes to box office collection, I'm talking about the box office collection. I'm not trying to make a film that is equal to Drishyam 1.
Right.
In the box office collection. What I am trying to do is make a good film. That's my intention.
And organic continuation.
After reading this, correct, of course, correct. And if after reading it, you just tell me whether it is good or not. And after reading the script, they all said that, "Daddy, this is a good film. We all liked it. You can go ahead with this." Then I gave it to my ADs. There also, I put the script in my guest bedroom. I call my assistants one by one. Before getting inside the room, I told them, "Here is the Drishyam second. You are going to watch it. So tell me about your expectation before you entering into the auditorium." Just imagine you are going to see this. Okay, all the I got different expectations and different ideas at this thing. Then I told them, after finishing the first year, you should come out. Then tell me your feelings, your thoughts about it. Then the expectation regarding the second half. This is how I took feedbacks. They all said some logical issues, some length issues. Then I corrected it. Then I sent it to Mohanlal, and I did it. This is how I worked.
Fantastic. So all the things that later you said, like the character says is luck or whatever, God can help. You actually went and consulted that with a forensic person and all that kind of. So it was actually there.
Yeah. Almost, sir. Of course, we can't expect 100% foolproof logic in cinema.
Right.
Then it becomes it's like a real life, right? So it's like in thrillers, there will be a combination of logic and some fantasy. Reality and fantasy. Okay. So what I did was, I tried to present these sequences maximum with realistic way, with added things which will help the presentation of the film, because it should be interesting. It should be an edge of the seat drive. So I did some adjustments in this thing, but still I believe 70% of the logic is being seen. But still there is some problem.
Yeah,
it's there.
What do you think is a problem? Just give me one example. Do you have?
Sir, I can tell you personally, not over this.
Fair enough.
Already, when I do a film, people are crazy looking for logical issues. I don't know why. I will ask them, see, I, of course, I will give them some examples. Sir, watch this film. This is a very successful film, but this kind of logical problem is there. Why you are not talking about it? Then what they are saying is that's. But in your film, we can't accept logical issues.
Okay, fair
Yours
enough.
should be a perfect.
Before the release of the film, you kept saying family drama, family drama, family drama. So I also, when I started watching first, I said, okay, family drama. But then suddenly, like after about okay. So those of you who are watching this and don't know what this is, we are talking about spoilery things. So please watch the movie before you continue watching this. So at the point where the neighbors are revealed to be cops, that at that point the drunk and that woman, that's when I started thinking, oh my God, Jeethu's doing the same thing again. He's kind of making us think that it is a family drama, but it is. But then he's slowly taking us into that same route again. Did you deliberately want to downplay the thriller angle in the promotions?
Yeah, of course, sir, because the expectation was too high. So I seriously feared that. Okay, of course, what I was trying to do is make a good film.
Right.
So I seriously feared that because of this high expectation, suppose what people say that after watching, oh, these are all predictable, these are this, and this is not a good film. If they felt that this is not a good film, I can't take that risk. So I just wanted to. Today I had an interview in the local channel. I just apologized to the audience. Don't feel bad. I want all you to enjoy. I wanted you to enjoy the film. So I just wanted to downplay the this thing.
Okay. Okay.
Like you said, that was my intention.
Right. Now, so because now you've also made a thriller, Drishyam 2 is also a thriller. Did you feel at any point that you were compromising on the family angle? That is, Rani's character is completely like you show her perfectly in terms of how she's suffering, what she's suffering with, and all that. But did you feel maybe the two daughters, maybe you could have written more had you like originally written like a family drama?
Yeah, but
It's difficult, I know, to
actually,
balance. So
yeah, correct. Still, the audience are saying that in the first half we have lag.
oh,
But seriously, I believe this kind of dragging or a lag is important in films
very
because
yeah,
they are subconscious in their subconscious mind. We are feeding their emotions. They are not. The audience is not realizing that.
yeah.
But still, I'm getting only one issue from the normal audience. Of course, we have some lag in the family sequence because maybe the problem is they are all expecting a thriller from me, so they don't want to see these family sequences. But a family audience enjoyed those sequences.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But even in Drishyam first, the duration of the first half was 1 hour 1 minute, 1 or 2 minutes. I don't remember properly. And the second half is 1 hour 49 minutes.
Yeah.
So at that time, the problem was everyone said this is unbalanced, this will affect the film. And you know something, after watching the film, the people came out of theater and said the film is very good. In the first half, there is lag. So, but actually that lag, actually it's this kind of lag is actually working in the subconscious mind. Actually, we need those scenes. I don't think it's a good idea if I wanted to work on their daughters and the Rani a little more. Actually, I worked 2-3 scenes, but when I discussed with my ADs, they suggested, sir, it's nice. I think we better remove this. So I took the feedbacks.
Did you ever think when you were writing this draft that Georgekutty could have moved to another, like at least another house? Because see, first he is not telling his wife and daughters anything, right? So like he's kind of trying to keep that secret from them, and that is their protection. But because they're living in the same house, they're constantly being reminded of what happened. So did you ever consider, should Georgekutty stay in the same house or should he move somewhere else? Did that thought ever strike you?
Actually, in the beginning, I had that thought, but the problem is that then we will miss certain things, sir. Suppose the Rani is standing in front of that window and looking at that the place where the body has been buried. So, and even Georgekutty is after that interrogation and his confession, when he is sitting at the home, he is looking at that place where it all happened. That kind of things we will miss. That's why. So these are some adjustment actually
Sure.
we do in
Yeah,
films, right?
yeah. No,
So
so
I
I'm
want
just
to bring those emotions, those things.
right. So of course, you start with an eyewitness. That's the way the movie starts. But there is one very interesting parallel between the eyewitness and Georgekutty, which is basically that both of them committed an accidental murder, and both of them are trying to be with their family, protect their family. Was this a complete coincidence, or did you plan this?
Actually, sir, my idea was here. There is a situation is like that, sir. Georgekutty is desperate. Georgekutty's family is desperate. The police is desperate. They want to find this thing. And the boy's family is desperate. And the Joes is also desperate. In the beginning, I thought just bring a witness. And okay, of course, he was in jail. He's maybe he's a robber or something like that. Then I felt like that there's no depth in that character. So I should bring someone who is desperate. So then I thought about this desperate situation. Then I put him in. I gave him a family. I like now he wanted to get back to his family.
Right.
So everyone is desperate and everyone is selfish. Everyone have a motive. It's every character has reasons for doing this thing, right? So I think that's an interesting parallel thing. In the beginning, when you develop a subject, we'll think about different possibilities, right? In the beginning, actually, I thought about making Jose as a robber. Later, I changed this into a murderer. Then I realized this connection, like you said, it's almost he is in the Georgekutty's kind of situation.
Yeah, yeah.
But one thing, when I gave this script to my ADs, they all wanted to remove this Joe's family scenes. They told me that, sir, this is an unnecessary scene. Please remove this. But actually, my wife and my daughters actually supported me. And I strongly said, no, sir, I won't do it. Even when I'm remaking in Telugu, in the discussion, they also asked me whether you need this particular sequence. I don't know. They are not getting the point. So, but I strongly said that we should keep this in. It will work, and actually, it really worked. Sir.
Yeah, absolutely. It's brilliant because right at the start, that man gets a bit of backstory. So it's amazing that we follow him not just as a robber or a murderer, but he gets that backstory with the wife. Mary is holding at the window. She's there, and then she's crying, and he's taken away. Right there, you establish the family situation. That scene is so necessary, I feel. So, just one more thing about Joe's. When he goes to the cops, when he suddenly remembers that Georgekutty was the guy at that night, and he suddenly gets that flashback. He says that I should have gone to the maybe if I had gone to Georgekutty, he might have given me more money. So I'm trying to understand: did Jose ever consider, like, should I go to the cops or should I go to Georgekutty and ask? Did that dilemma ever happen within him?
There is a scene in front of the tea shop where Jose is trying to talk to Georgekutty. He ignored and just
yeah.
So it actually maybe it's a kind of insult or something. He felt bad about it.
Yeah.
So now he is not comfortable with Georgekutty. That's why I put that scene, sir.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he has that option.
Yeah. And actually, after he's insulted, you show his face dropping like that, a little bit, like his face is just like falling. So
correct. I actually, that purpose of that scene is to otherwise he has another option. He can communicate. He can even blackmail Georgekutty.
Yeah.
So now he doesn't like Georgekutty. He's not happy with Georgekutty. That's why he's going to the police.
Yeah. Now, Rani says that in the first scene, the first stretch, that is, Rani says that you have been working on this screenplay for 3 years. It's still not finished. So it is 6 years since the murder, since the events of the first film, and he has been working on the screenplay for 3 years.
Yeah.
So the first 3 years, roughly, what was he doing?
Actually, he was waiting for this that skeleton thing. It will take some time
Yeah,
to.
so that's the end. Yeah.
Yeah, and suppose we ask one question, everything will be finished. What if he caught before that, the police? Then he will be in jail.
Yeah.
It's sheer luck, actually.
Yeah. Now, one of the things, the most like unexpected, most of the things, everything has you lay out one point at the beginning, and then in the end it turns out to be really important. Like at first you think he's Georgekutty and that Rajan are just having a casual conversation in the car when they're drinking and all that, and later you find out that it's actually like what that man is and what that really is. But is Georgekutty's newfound love for alcohol, is it just because he wanted to become friends with this man, or is he also mentally like thinking I'm so nervous, alcohol is making me a little feel better, like many people, is it's also helping him to calm down?
Actually, it's purely it's not because for his personal this thing. He wanted to make friends with these guys, and actually alcohol is the best thing for that. Yeah, when you have a drink company, that intimacy, that you get more close, and you can be more open. That's a different thing, right?
Yeah. This man, he has been waiting and waiting and waiting to see, will I get caught? That is his, like, for the 6 years he's been thinking about that. So when suddenly, did you ever think that, like, you show him that he may know that his house is bugged, because he always tells the people inside the house not to talk inside the house. Like, every time the topic comes up, he kind of makes them keep quiet and all that. So he knows the house is maybe bugged, right?
No, actually, they're actually, in my mind, actually, Georgekutty doesn't know about the bug thing, but he doesn't want to talk about this. He wants the family to forget this thing.
Right.
That's why he doesn't want to talk about this.
Okay.
Actually, he never expected that police movement. Okay. And Sarida Sabu is a surprise for him also.
Yeah. So, but did he ever, when a man is anticipating everything, like, would he not suspect, like, okay, be a little careful with that family also and keep away from them? But did you explore that?
No, actually, he may, of course, he's an intelligent person. He may be watching whether he's been followed or not, all this. Right. But he never expected that his house will be bugged.
Yeah.
People make, even if you're intelligent, they will make, people make errors, right? They will make mistakes.
No, mistakes, sure. I wondered, when you were writing, did you ever consider these possibilities? That's the thing I was kind of...
No. Actually, I kept it as Georgekutty is not. No, I never thought about bugging this thing. I mean, in his house.
Okay. So let's talk about the Siddique scene. The first time the father comes to meet, the boy's father comes to meet Georgekutty in the theater. Okay, before that, I want to know this. It's like, at what point did you decide that, in your screenplay writing process, at what point did you decide that, okay, in this installment, Georgekutty is going to build a theater?
Building a theater was one of his dream, actually.
Right.
I want him to, even in the first we are mentioning that this is one of his dream, but with his, that's why that his wife's father-in-law is actually he's ready to give some money. I mean, ready a part of this property. Then he said no. So when I was working on this thing, I want to bring Sarida and Sabu into this thing, right?
Yeah.
So if he's building a theater, then of course he'll need money. He took it from his father-in-law. Then he needs some additional money. So he's sold his property, a portion of the property. Okay. Actually, the purpose of that making him a theater owner is one of the purposes is to bring Sarida and
Right.
that cops into this place.
Scenario. Yeah. So again, so now that Siddique scene, what made you say I want only the father at that point? I don't yet want to show the Geeta character.
He's saying something like this, Georgekutty, you should tell me where it is. I won't tell this to anyone, not even to Geeta. It's a personal visit actually.
Right.
And he really meant it.
Okay.
Even if Georgekutty give that thing, he won't tell anybody because his character is like that.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he want to make sure that Georgekutty, if he is ready to give this thing, if Geeta is there, definitely Georgekutty won't be ready to give this thing. Georgekutty has some trust in this character. I mean, Mr. Prabhagar, he trusts this guy, so he had that feeling. So that's why he came and asked him, please, I won't talk to anybody, not even to Geeta.
Yeah.
That's why he is not bringing Geeta. If Geeta is there, definitely, if there is a chance of giving, suppose if Georgekutty is ready to give this thing, but if
he won't do it.
Geeta's presence will be
the big problem. Yeah. By the end of Drishyam 1, that big scene happens where Siddique goes to Mohanlal and says, yes, we know that our son did a wrong thing. And yes, we understand all that, but still, can you tell us what happened, kind of thing. And when that scene ends, you get the feeling that these two parents have accepted that they're not going to know and they go away, right? So now we realize that Geeta has not forgotten at all. She has not, she didn't really say, okay, let the past be the past or something. She wants revenge. She kind of looks up kind of a thing. So did you ever think that maybe she should, that right now the Geeta kind of part is played by Murali Gopi in this film? Did you at an early draft, a first draft, a second draft, ever think that should I bring back Geeta a little earlier? Should we make her the prime, again, make her the person who's kind of moving this? Did you ever think about that?
No, even in my first draft, it was like that.
Okay.
Because even at the end of the first Drishyam, if you check that shot, after this dialogue, Georgekutty's dialogue, he is confessing indirectly that these things have happened and we sent that our guest. No, after that dialogue, actually, Prabhagar is taking her. Actually, she doesn't want to leave.
Yeah, he's kind of shepherding.
Correct. And she's not talking anything, right? Because she's not ready to forgive. She has two problems. One, as a mother, she lost her son. And as a police officer, her ego is there.
Yeah.
So if she gets a chance, she will react. She's not ready to forgive.
Yeah.
Even suppose somebody asks me, here in the Drishyam 2 also, when IG is saying that let's leave this, and she is looking at Prabhagar and Prabhagar is nodding, but she is not saying anything. Then few people ask me, is it you put a lead onto the third part for the third part? I told them, maybe. That's it.
No, but
her character is like that. She can just forgive like that because she's not only a mother, she's a police officer, right? She has that ego.
One of my favorite touches in the film is when the book begins to mirror, the film becomes a mirror of Georgekutty's life in a way. It's like a meta thing that's happening, He says that at one point, he says, I've written a novel, but it's a family story, so very few people will read it. It's not a thriller. But then you're doing that exact same thing. It's like, and then I realized, oh my God, Jeethu Joseph is actually Georgekutty. He's done the same thing, So that's at what point did that whole novel copyright idea come to your come into the thing? Was it in the first draft itself?
No, sir. Actually, in my writing pattern, what I do usually do is I I will put everything into paper once the whole frame is done.
Okay.
So till then, I'll be working in my brain. I won't put
Wow.
it in paper because basically I am a very lazy person, especially when it comes to writing. I don't want to. I don't like writing. Seriously, I'm very lazy. So I will keep on working in my brain. So I will think about all the possibilities. I will think about all the angles, all the kind of this thing, and I edit it in my own mind. Once that frame is fixed in my mind, then I will start writing the scene order. Then there will be small corrections in the scene order, the placements of the scene. Then I will start writing the script. That's why I started writing the script on March after the lockdown. 3-4 days I started. I think it's finished around 25 days.
Wow.
It was in a single stretch because I'm not supposed to go out. So because that one line is there. Actually, that one line is the reference.
Right.
So even in the first draft, it was there. Everything was
Everything was
there.
there.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting process, because I'm just thinking, you're saying you keep it all in your head. What if you forget something?
No, sir, I won't forget.
Wow,
That's a funny thing because I am whenever I think about a scene, actually I'm visualizing it.
okay.
So when a visual is there, you won't forget
Wow.
unless I have Alzheimer's or some kind of problem. Otherwise, I won't forget.
You know what I really liked about that book? The cover has a faceless man. You just see the outline of the face. There are no features on the face. That's a really brilliant touch, because it could be anybody.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Because actually, that's the in the launching of Drishyam 2, we use this book. And I sent it to Lalayan, and he said, "Sir, why there is no face? It's my face, right?" No, sir, it's not your face because it's. Then I told him about this thing, sir. This is that book we'll be showing in this thing. Oh, okay, fine. Then I got the point. That's what he said. So nobody expected that. Now everybody is saying, "Oh, you were in the first announcement day. You showed that this thing," and no,
Georgekutty is trying to, like, make his family not talk about the event, right? But when the younger daughter's boyfriend, Rani, sees them both talking, and she tells Anu, and then she brings that girl back, and she wants to know what happened. But then Georgekutty says, "No, no, forget, not now." And but the next morning, the friends leave the house, the sleepover friends, and then that time also Rani says, "Ask her what she told him," and he doesn't. He says it's okay and leaves it. I At that point I thought maybe he'd want to know what this girl had said, because that is directly related to the very thing that he's protecting, right? So why does he say that at that point? What is George
because
Kuti thinking?
there is one more dialogue, sir. What does she know? What does she know? She doesn't know anything.
Right.
She's not. What she can tell that boy? Everyone knows that the body is being buried there. The police knows that where the crime is been, in which room the crime is been committed. Maybe I don't know.
Right.
But these things are already in the public.
Right.
So other than she's the younger daughter, she doesn't know much about this thing.
Right.
I mean, and other than this, she doesn't know anything. She saw that her mother and the elder daughter was doing something. She already confessed to the police. So the police, of course, they have the common sense to know that or maybe the murder has been occurred in that room. So other than that, she doesn't know anything. Most probably, I don't think Georgekutty or Rani is going to tell in detail.
Right.
Georgekutty is confidential. She doesn't know anything more than that. So just leave it. Don't talk. I mean, he doesn't want to discuss it with the younger daughter further. This thing. That was my point. I don't know whether it is right or not. That's the way I conceive that particular thing.
Yeah. Was Georgekutty ever serious about making that movie?
That question is actually still haunting me also. So I don't know. Uh, Maybe he has, of course, he has a dream. Afterwards, writing the script, I thought about to myself. Still, I don't have an answer, sir. Seriously, when
Yeah,
Laletan was saying that, I don't know Georgekutty till now, because while shooting, especially the drinking scene, he told me, "Is he really drunk or he's acting?"
right.
Then I told him, told Laletan, "Sir, to be frank, I don't know.
Yeah. No,
To be
because
frank,
yeah. And okay, this is an episode mainly focused on the writing of the movie, but the family that you create, Meena and Mohanlal, and it's just they just completely become this family. I mean, it is one of Mohanlal's best performances, and it's so nuanced, because like one of my favorite scenes in this movie, Drishyam 2, is when he visits that Patros character, and that man is thanking him, but somehow you can see the guilt in his eyes. Like the first time I saw the scene, I thought, why is this guy looking like, is he uncomfortable with the praise? But then later I realized that he was actually feeling a bit of like, I'm getting so much praise from this man, but I did it for selfish purpose. Like I
correct,
made a
correct.
friend of him. And Mohanlal is amazing in that scene, just like so many scenes, but that particular scene made me remember that, wow, okay, that's why he was not looking directly at that man too much. So
Yeah, and he was at one point he was looking down
yeah,
because before that scene we discussed this thing because he has that guilt. Of course, he has that guilt of using that guy.
yeah,
Of course, he is helping them. He giving them money, and he given money for his daughter's studies, and given money for her marriage. Everything is done, but still he is using them. It's not a sincere thing
yeah,
because he is selfish. He
yeah,
is all doing this for his family.
yeah. But philosophically speaking, would you say this is selfishness? Because it's a kind of self-preservation, no, more than selfishness.
Yeah, maybe he can. Yeah,
Yeah, so I would say that this is more like a self-preservation thing than selfishness, because it's not an intentional, I want my family to succeed at all cost, that kind of a thing. It's more like an accident happened and I have to protect it. That's
correct,
more like,
correct, correct.
yeah,
Yeah, correct. He actually is trying to correct, like you said. It was a bad luck. Actually,
yeah,
it was a bad luck. Something terrible happened. Now he just want to survive.
yeah,
He just want to safeguard family. That's it. That
yeah,
he trying to try. He's doing all this just for that.
yeah.
There is no other personal gain,
Yeah,
no personal
yeah,
interest.
yeah. So that's why I felt it was not really selfish as such, kind of a thing. So
Self-preservation.
yeah, at any point during the writing, or in your case the visualization of the drishyam of the screenplay, did you feel that, okay, this is getting a little far-fetched, maybe I should not do this? Was there any concept that you felt was getting too far-fetched?
No, but after no, I didn't felt anything. Not far-fetched, but after the shoot of Drishyam 2, something came to my mind. One idea came into my mind. I was really upset that I really missed it. I could have done one scene. I thought we already removed demolished the set and everything, so there is no way I can redo it because I wanted. There's a one point now. I'm doing it in Telugu.
Telugu.
I mean, in the remake, I wanted to bring Georgekutty in one scene in the circle inspector's room. Okay, it will be an interesting scene. He
Okay.
know that he's there for somebody, some other purpose or some other thing, and he knows that this is where I buried that body, and he's standing above this thing. I miss that.
Yeah,
I really wanted to. Now I am thinking about bringing it in the Telugu version. It will be a very interesting thing, right?
yeah. So the when you do the same movie across languages, like Drishyam became Papanasam, and then you did Drishyam in Telugu as well. Do you lose some interest sometimes when you're remaking it, or do the new actors make it fresh again for you?
Now, I did only Tamil version, right?
Tamil version,
Papanasam.
yeah.
Actually, in the Tamil version, actually, it was very interesting because with the help of course, I have to say this, with the help of Kamal sir, I, I could bring the culture of Nadar community into this thing. And when we discussed, he actually, I have that fortune to see my character done by two great actors in their own style.
Yeah.
Swayambulingam was very emotional, but Georgekutty was very subtle and confident. It was very interesting.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed making the Tamil, especially because Kamal sir was there. But I didn't get an opportunity to do the Telugu version.
Right.
Now I am trying to do the Telugu version, and I think I'm just seriously thinking about making few changes like this, which I missed in Malayalam. Maybe some corrections. We are getting a lot of reviews, right? There are some logical issues. I'm trying to seal this thing in the other version.
Now, when the screenwriter at the end, when he comes to the police, when it comes to Murali Gopi and Asha Sarath and Siddique, they're all sitting there, and then the screenwriter comes to them and says, "This is what that this event occurs in parallel to the courtroom scene."
Correct.
So he is narrating what Georgekutty's story is. Now, is that the real story? Because Georgekutty himself is not saying it. The narrator. So is he an unreliable narrator, or is it the truth?
I don't know how to answer that, sir. Suppose if there is a possibility of a third, maybe I can play here. Okay. So I'm not going to answer this for the time being.
Okay.
Because, if I said something, then I can do it. If there is an opportunity, there is a third part. There is a chance to play here. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a space.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't want to answer this thing.
But that's my final question. Where do you go with the third part? Because the body's been destroyed. Everything like see when I saw Drishyam 1, I thought, oh, okay, the perfect crime. Sorry, it's not a crime, but the perfect thing has been done. It'll never be discovered. The body's this thing, and then you introduce the eyewitness and take the story forward. And now, like I'm already thinking of which part of Drishyam 3 is kind of going to, how are you going to develop this into another case? But you know what I thought when I saw Drishyam 2 is like, it's going to, like, you've already established that this woman and this man, they want justice for their son, and they got the remains and they went home. You'll have to somehow, it's going to be very interesting to see how you take this forward, is all I'm saying. It's kind of if a third part happens.
Sir, I like this session very much. I enjoyed this conversation. So that's why I never said this anywhere, in any interview or anywhere, which I'm going to tell you something. I don't know whether the third will happen or not, but I have the climax of third part.
Right. My God.
I already talked about this with Laletan, and he really likes it. But I don't know I can make it to the climax, because there are so many things should happen before that, right?
Right.
A lot of things to be worked on. I had a beautiful climax, I believe. And I discussed with my family. They also liked the third part. Then my daughter asked me, how are you going to do it? I said, I don't know. Suppose if God given me some idea, maybe I'll do it. I don't know. Otherwise, I'm doing the prequel or sequel or this thing, not because considering the business factor.
Yeah.
If it was the business factor, I could have done it 3 years or 4 years before, right? If I get a good plot or good idea, definitely I will work. Otherwise, I will just leave it. But I have the climax of third.
No, and you don't even have to explain that business factor, because this is one of the very rare sequels where the spirit of the original is perfectly there. It goes in a new direction, but it's a perfect organic continuation of the original. So it doesn't feel at any point that, oh, they that became a hit, so they just decided to quickly make. It doesn't feel like that at all. So
Thank you, sir. Thank you
congratulations
so
again,
much. Thank you, sir.
and hope that I look forward to the Telugu version, because you say that you're going to fix something. So I look forward to the tweaks as
But
well.
there will be only small changes, sir.
Yeah, yeah,
Then we have to consider the cultural changes also, right?
right,
So
right. So
we are just working on it.
yeah,
There isn't much difference, but few very small tiny things. That's it.
right. But just that scene alone that you said of if Georgekutty comes into the circle inspector's room back again, that
Yeah.
yeah,
Definitely, it will be there. It's
yeah,
already been decided because when I presented this idea, everyone liked it.
yeah.
It will be an interesting
Yeah,
thing.
I just love the idea of him standing over the body, just kind
Yeah.
of. So, anyway, thank you so much for talking to us, Jeethu Joseph. All best wishes.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this conversation, this session. I really enjoyed it. So
Thank you so
that's
much.
why I told you about the third part.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.